Good day or evening, my friends. I hope you're doing really well. And I want to talk about, probably one of the most confusing aspects of the healing journey when you are just kind of in it. At the beginning, because of our own programming, from this world and from all whether it's family systems, social, cultural systems, whatever it is, that we just have this belief that somehow we can override our basic needs, needs for air, water, shelter, sleep, oxygen, that we can override our needs for, love and relational safety and agency and some of these things that honestly just seem to be pretty important to people to function well. And one of the hardest things I think it is for people to accept and to we have to make a decision if we're going to acknowledge and then take action on the truth that, like, when we do any restriction. Now, I'm not saying that we should do everything we want to all the time. That's not what I mean. But when I have a basic need, I'm really, really tired, and I just keep pushing through. I keep overriding. I might be as prideful as to say that I don't really need that much sleep when it's very clear that your body's suffering, but we don't acknowledge it anyway. And we have consequences and side effects from that. So the same thing can be said for food. Just because maybe we don't like the amount of food we might need to have, it doesn't mean that if we ignore that we won't have consequences. And so what I see be the most frustrating symptom of either actual tangible calorie restriction or just a restriction mindset where it's like, I don't really need that. I'm busy. I've been surviving like this for like decades. I'll take care of it later. That kind of mindset sets off this whole cascade of basically bebopping off of all the wounds we might have inside of us, meaning all the times that like our needs weren't met, whether it's verbal or nonverbal, we remember, we don't remember. And if it was a consistent kind of thing, it can really set off all of the big feels about what that was like, to basically be told your basic needs don't matter. So that's going to look like, for a lot of people, it's going to look like rebellion eating. It's going to look like, screw it. I'm just going to eat it all I can and I'll be good tomorrow. It's going to look like, I guess my needs don't really matter. So it's going to lead to some kind of like collapse and dorsal inside. Maybe you experience all of these. It's going to look like kind of doubling down and restrict even harder because self-hatred, essentially, or I'll show them. It's going to show up in all kinds of different ways. A really simple example for me, I remember back in the day, early 20s, I would just think about like, well, maybe I can just eat more protein and cut back on the carbs and just eat more vegetables and maybe I'll get leaner. And those were certainly when I was really pushing that narrative in my head in the morning. By 3 or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe 6 o'clock, I was headed to the store to get some cookie dough and eat as much of it as I could. Not that I really wanted to, but part of me wanted to because I didn't want to be treated that way. There's a couple different things. One, I was calorically deprived from the daytime diet shenanigans. And if you don't think it's a diet, it actually is, because I wasn't listening to my body. I wasn't even applying any actually gentle nutrition. So there wasn't this lovely marriage of like a little bit of nutrition information, a whole lot of listening to the body. Wasn't doing any of that. It definitely was. Let's see if I can manipulate myself to get some kind of like faux safety, because I didn't know how to get it. And I, in any kind of way, like with my food, socially, whatever. So doing this thing, which triggered this other thing, I'm going to then, I can't deal with the inside ping-ponging of dealing with pain and hunger all day. And like the food noise, essentially, of being told that I can't eat whatever. 2, very hungry by the end of the day. 3, all the things that probably other needs that I wasn't meeting or acknowledging throughout the day, in addition to the food restriction. I had no more distractions, so I was feeling pretty flooded with a lot of stuff, like buildup from the day. So there was emotion in it too, and it's really easy to label that emotional eating because it feels that way, because you do have a lot of emotion. So I would say 5% of that eating, 5 to 10% of that eating was emotional eating, but mostly based on my own self-abandonment, because most of those days, nothing bad happened to me. No external rejections, no other abandonment, no big disappointments. I mean, sometimes in those days, those things happened and definitely would lead to a lot more emotion that I didn't have any skills or capacity to deal with. But I would say 9 out of 10 of those days, my life was just kind of going along, work, school, some connection, whatever, but not enough to feed those connection things in me, which we all have, and we're going to talk about next week. But you can see, like, I was using this food as a way to have some slowing down, some connection. I have good associations with cookie dough in terms of relational pieces, and which is why I unconsciously chose that food. So there's emotion in there. But 90 to 95% of this was triggered by my one misattunement and just flat out unwillingness, and some of it was pride, almost all of it was fear, and a lot of it was like, oh, I didn't even know it was okay for me to have needs and for those to get met and it be safe. So I just had a lot of lack of neurobiology that, your story and your needs matter. Just didn't have it and never experienced it. So there's a lot of reasons why that restriction mindset triggers this whole thing that you don't want to be doing with your food. But if we can start with like some root cause things here, is a restriction mindset, not having enough acknowledgement of like what your needs are, not knowing that those are important to be met. And so just start there. Like, maybe it's starting to make some peace with like, yeah, I need what I need, and that's it. I'm feeling how I'm feeling, and if I judge that, it just turns into a whole cascade of more pain, to be honest. And then it triggers more either restriction or emotional overeating, I guess I should say, or misattuned eating. And we go round and round and round we go, but your mind is full of new information, but your insides don't have the permission or capacity to like be known so that you can build skills to meet those needs. So this is a very important topic that I find, and it's definitely the beginning months of this whole process, is learning to like, your body has needs. Sometimes we don't like that, and that's where we got to start. And once there's peace made with the fact that you do have needs, all kinds of needs, and we're talking about the physical ones today. We're going to talk about relational ones next week in regards to food. But just physiologically, if you're trying to tell yourself that how much food you need or you want doesn't matter, it's not relevant. What's more important is how you externally try to like match and mirror whatever you think you within different tribes you can try to attach to, then you're going to like basically leave your insides in the dust. And they're going to react to that. It just is. And so when we start to accept that is where the change begins. I hope this video was helpful. Please let me know if it was. If you're watching this live, thank you for being here. Please start at the beginning. It gives you a little bit better big build up of the story here and the context for what we're talking about. And if you watch the replay and you resonate with it, let me know. If you're needing some help with that, please also reach out, because this is the work we do, is help people. Yeah, we teach people how to eat from hunger and fullness again, and kind of do that lovely marriage of nutrition and body-led eating and all that wonderfulness and movement and body image and nervous system health regulation, all that we've been doing 20 years now plus. But also this internal conflict stuff, because if you've got belief systems inside that say that your needs don't matter, it's really hard to recover. And so if we can get some healing there, I find that like this process is definitely more efficient. So thank you so much for watching. I'll put some links down below, so if you want to explore some more of these topics, you can. So thanks so much. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.